Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Mayo Media Network. I am Martino Puccio, helping break down some more quarterfinal matchups for Euro 2020. Before we get into all that, we'd just like to ask you guys to turn on your notifications, turn on those comments, subscribe, like the video, and give us all the feedback that you can in the comments section, because we're going to keep on coming with these videos within the next, 10, 12 days or so before the tournament wraps up. It's been a blast to do everything. So without further ado, let's get into the games for July 3rd. Denmark versus Czech Republic is going to be the first game in this one. Obviously, the Danish have rebounded so well ever since that first opening match where Christian Eriksen collapsed of a heart attack and was revived on the field. They had to obviously continue to go and play that game. The Finnish obviously finished off that match against Denmark. You can't take too much away from that, where their mentals were all over the place and it was very hard for them to focus. Their second match was against one of the tournament favorites in Belgium, where Kevin De Bruyne came off the bench, completely changed the match, but they were within that match throughout. So they had a real good opportunity to potentially pull that one out. And that was after recovering mentally from the game prior to that. They go and face Russia, do a good job of qualifying there at the last minute. Mental fortitude is what we're going with here. And you see it into the next round. They finally start playing their games. They absolutely shell Wales 4-0. It was just an absolute clinic by the Danish, and they're doing a great job advancing into the next round of this quarterfinal against the Czech Republic. Now, the Czech Republic is obviously a very tough side. They've been playing a lot of teams very closely. We've seen Patrick Schick score the goal of the season. They might have been a little fortunate last round when Matthias de Ligt got a red card, and they ended up scoring 2 goals after that. But I kind of think their luck or fortune, whatever you want to call it, runs out this round against the Danish. I do like Denmark on the money line, plus 107. I know I always like to stay away from triple money lines, especially in knockout phases of tournaments, but I have a good feeling about Denmark, and I've been on them for a little while now. So I really like the Danish to win this. Again, if you do see a team scoring in this, or both of these sides, both teams to score is at a plus money number. So that's something you might want to look at there on DraftKings. For a Denmark win, if you want to go with something like a low scoring win, 1-0, because the Czechs have been playing these matches pretty tightly. 1-0 wins at plus 500. There's other odds to get at 2-0 if you like the 2-1 numbers as well. You could always look in those directions. I'm just trying to push you in them and, give you some advice along the way. But you don't have to do anything. If you feel confident in a certain team within this, then you can go and ride them out. For me, I like the Danish in this one to move on. Heading on over to the Ukraine versus England. England is playing their first away match in this tournament. This is going to be a real tough one for them because they face off against the Ukraine. Yes, it's a little bit more of a favorable matchup than the other side of the bracket. Absolutely. Did they exercise some of their demons against Germany? Absolutely again. They were doing a great job in the second half of creating and pressing the Germans a lot more often. The Germany, we knew their defense was a little bit weak compared to other sides remaining in this tournament, and England took advantage of it. Gareth Southgate, it must be said, he pushed all the right buttons within that match as well. Jack Grealish coming on, honestly, has been an absolute menace on the pitch. Harry Kane finally gets on the score sheet and helps England propel itself to a 2-0 win at Wembley. I think it should be noted that England are shifting towards the favorite of the tournament right now, strictly because of the path that they're on. They face a Ukraine side who's obviously always gunning to try and score. England have yet to concede so far in this tournament. That really speaks volumes about to where they're at, but it's not as if they haven't given up many chances. They have given up many chances, but other sides have not been clinical enough. The Ukraine has one of the better offensive teams remaining within this. We know the weakness is at the back. We'll see how England responds when they're not playing at Wembley. This game is going to be played in Rome, Italy. So to note that as well, Ukrainian manager Andrei Shevchenko is an absolute legend within Italy and Serie A for AC Milan. He has managed them many times, and he hopes to have the backing of some of the Italians there. We know they don't really get along and like to root for the English, so maybe that's a little bit of an angle you want to play there in that sort of environment. So just interesting to take note of. Me personally, I do kind of like the over going in this one. I think England finally concede. Whether or not I pick a winner in this one, I'm not too confident in either way or direction with this, but I do think England will advance, but I'm staying away from the money line. Over 2.5 is at even money, as I mentioned. Both teams to score in this one, as I mentioned, because I think England is going to concede finally. Both teams to score is at plus 128. We saw them get exposed on certain chances. Thomas Muller, unable to finally score on that free breakaway that Kai Havertz gave him. You also saw another chance blown by Timo Werner. I'm not too sure the Ukrainians are going to be blowing any chances within that possibility. I do find one bet to be very interesting at the end of this to wrap it up. The first half Ukrainian money line is at plus 700. That's a very high number. Maybe the Ukrainians come out of the gate, play fantastic, get one goal, they're up 1-0 at halftime. We've seen crazier things so far happen within this tournament. If they can just go into halftime like that, that's a sizable number that you could probably cash on. So other than that, I think England is going to end up advancing to the next round. And if you wanted to choose all the favorites to advance within this tournament and this round, strictly advancing to the next round. So we got England, Italy, Spain, and Denmark all to advance to the next round at their numbers. That parlay will come out at plus 274. So if you're interested in placing in something like that, then that's the direction you can go in at that point. So for me, one more time, we like those numbers there. Ukraine first half, plus 700 potentially if you like that. Both teams to score plus 128, and the over is at even money 2.5. Let us know who you guys will be thinking will advance to the semifinals, and who do you think is going to win the tournament at the end of the day? I'm Martino Puccio from The Athletic here on Mayo Media Network. Take care, everyone.